Today we're going to take a look at the Kemove K87SE, the 1980. Let's jump into it. So Kemove sent me over the K87SE 1980 mechanical keyboard, and I'm super excited to jump in the box. With this keyboard being a throwback to the retro style of the 80s and coming in at $29.99, I'm really excited to see what features they offer, or see if it's a bust. Jumping straight in the box here, we are presented with a keyboard, which we're going to set aside for the moment. After removing the keyboard, we do have the information pamphlet. I like this style of pamphlet. It's easy to read. It gives you all the information you're looking for right up front instead of having to search through a book. It gives you the information on what's inside the keyboard, like foams and switch pads. As well, if you flip it over to the back, you have all the shortcut keys, including how to change the lighting or change it from Windows to Mac mode. And it is Mac compatible, which is a cool touch. After reviewing that information, we'll go ahead and set that aside. We'll focus on what's in our back flap here. Pulling that out, you can see that it's our keycap puller as well as our USB-C cable. Our keycap puller is a nice keycap puller from Kemove. I like these a lot better than the most standard keycap pullers you get in budget keyboards. It's got a nice handle on it, which is cool. And then our USB-C cable. This is kind of unexpected in a keyboard that costs $29. I like that it keeps the theme of the keyboard throughout the entire USB-C cable. Noting this is a common theme and a common aesthetic in the keyboard community, I think is a nice touch. And I applaud it. And it also feels really good. Now focusing on the star of the show, the keyboard itself. Here you can see that it's a white keyboard. It has these grayish off-white keycaps, as well as you have light blue and orange accent keycaps. These are really cool. I honestly really like this aesthetic. It does feel old school. It feels kind of retro. And after pulling it out, one of the first things you notice is how much weight it has to it. It's a lot heavier than I would expect for a keyboard coming in at $29. Like, surprisingly, a lot more heavy than I would think. Which also makes it really solid. It's really rigid. There's not a lot of flex in this board at all. So if you're looking for a solid option, this is a solid choice. Flipping over the back, you can see that they have this cross pattern design on the back. I really like this touch. It's kind of neat seeing a design on the back like a higher end keyboard, even though it's still really budget friendly. Then looking at the feet, they are dual stage feet, and they have these nice rubber accents to make sure it doesn't slide across your desk if you use this on a slipperier surface. Across the top above the escape key, we have our USB-C port. As well as you flip it over the front, on the left hand side, you have this LED light bar. Now while this keyboard isn't RGB, it does have blue backlight. It is that crystal blue backlight that we used to see a lot back in the early days of mechanical keyboards. So I'm excited to see how it looks when we actually check it out. First things first, let's go ahead and pull off a keycap and see what we're working with here. We grab our keycap puller, and it is pretty simple to get them off. And we'll take a closer look at this keycap. As you can see here, it is a matte finish, which I enjoy. I don't like shiny keycaps. It is a really thick, double-shot ABS keycap with really clear legends. The coloring does wrap all the way around to the bottom, which is a nice touch, and I don't see any chipping on any of the keys. All the legends also appear to be lined up properly, and overall, it's really nice feeling and a nice aesthetic. Also, while we have a keycap off, we can look at our switches. These are not hot swap switches, but they are Long Hao Reds. These are a 50-gram linear switch, and they come pre-lubed. And so far, they feel pretty nice. Next, I want to check our stabilizers. Now it states that they are pre-lubed and they've been tuned, and they don't feel bad so far, so let's pop it off and see what we're working with. Remember, our stabilizers will be under the spacebar, our enter key here, along with our shifts and our backspace. So you can go ahead and grab your keycap puller, you can pry on each side, or you can, try to wiggle it all the way apart, and then just pull straight up, and they'll come straight off. No problems at all. Now that we have our keycaps off, we'll go ahead and take a look at our stabilizers. If you look back here, we can for sure see that they are lubed. This is a nice touch and not something you see common in $30 keyboards. A couple more presses on our switches here, they definitely don't feel scratchy. They feel rather smooth, which leads me to believe that these definitely have some sort of lube in them. Also noticing we have these little inserts here for this under the spacebar. This helps keep out dust and can also help acoustically. They're not a huge touch, but they're really nice to see, and something again you don't see on a budget keyboard. Now putting everything back together, I think the last thing we need to do is check out some of the lighting and see how this thing sounds in a sound test. So with turning one studio light off, this is what we get. And honestly, it looks pretty cool. That LED light bar is a really cool touch, and something I've really never seen before. I really like this, and for a $30 keyboard, that's awesome. And then if we hold our function key and our backslash, we can go ahead and change the different lighting modes. Remember, this will continue to be the blue backlight, but if we turn all of our lights off, we can really see the different kind of themes and functions they have already programmed in the board. Remember, just hitting backslash will continue cycling through them. And then you also may notice that a couple stay on while I'm holding the function key. Once you release the function key, those solid lights will turn off, so don't think you have stuck LEDs. But as soon as you hit your favorite one, or the most desired one, or the one you're going with for that day, you can go ahead and just let go, and it'll save it automatically. There are many other function capabilities as well with this keyboard, along with programming and different hardware setups. But that's going to be personal preference. And if you get this keyboard, I hope you enjoy it. But now that we've seen all the LED combinations, let's go ahead and jump into a sound test. Now that we've heard it and we've seen it, let's talk about it. Now honestly, I didn't know what to expect with a $30 keyboard with a throwback retro vibe, but honestly, I really like it. I think the attention to detail here was really top notch. I also really like that they had some feature qualities that you see in a lot more expensive keyboards that you don't see in a lot of budget-friendly keyboards, like loop switches and loop stabilizers. Also, the keycaps for stock keycaps at a $30 keyboard, usually they're not good. But these honestly feel really great. And between the gray and the blue and the orange, that's really cool. Plus, all the legends are super clear. And we don't always see that in this price range. Honestly, there's a lot to love here. And you might be looking for more features, but honestly, right out of the box for something you could plug in and just start using, you can't beat that. So all in all, I give this a win. I think this is a great value. And a big thank you to Kemove for sending it over to let me look at it. So if you like this video, please consider dropping a like and hit subscribe. It helps support the channel and I appreciate it. And if you want to get your hands on this keyboard, check the links below. It has a link straight to it. And that's it. The end. Thanks for watching and keep keyboarding.